So Koss, you are among the first to be notified that now that spring is in session, the play is back on track. And, you show up after school one day for rehearsal time, the first rehearsal back. You see a lot of familiar faces of people who were involved. I take it Mistaken Gary would also be involved in this. They don't bring in the actors just yet. Professor Uvilda walks to the rose stage. She immediately begins to change everything. She wants to turn Lillith from a musical to an interpretive dance show. Almost like a ballet. Like, not a clear plot, not a ton of dialogue. She will say, "It's too wordy, this script. Good job maybe for a silver quill. But this is not going to be a silver quill performance. This will be a Prismari performance."
I'm not actually insulted.
Well, I mean, we put a lot of effort into this entire thing. I think everybody's really attached to this particular script, so...
Well, I think it needs more dancing, more flair. Yes.
It's just... Well, we did put in a lot of effort into making this version of the play, and all the actors already know their lines. It would be a lot of effort to relearn everything and also to do dancing. We don't really know if any of our cast is dancers. It's not really something that we auditioned for.
First year silver trove. Perhaps you need to take one of my classes to understand the true power of interpretive dance.
I just want to be clear. I don't have an issue with dance. I enjoy dancing myself.
Yeah, but we can keep your music, but we get rid of all of the lyrics. And we replace them with more dancing. Let's start rehearsal now. Everybody get into formation, thank you. She wants to establish an environment, but she's being very territorial almost, like, this is mine now, this is my project.
No, I guess I'm just happy that it's going to happen.
Are all the existing props and special effects still okay?
Perhaps some. However, what is this about no use of magic? I think that's a ridiculous idea.
Well, I mean, most of the special effects were kind of made to imitate the use of magic, so...
Well, let's get rid of them and replace it with magic again, yes? Thank you.
It's just... It's a lot of work that we threw. Now, I kind of agree with you that it is a bit of a ridiculous idea, but we put in a lot of work to make sure that we could replicate spells like invisibility.
Yep, the gauntlets that shoot fire, they're pretty cool.
I understand Professor Zaffai had a vision, but that is not my vision. And I am now in charge of the play, per the order of Captain Dapplewing. So any complaints that you have can go to her, darlings. Let's get into this routine, shall we?
Sure. Let's do it. Let's try it out. It might be good.
It is not that great.
Wait, is she making, like, Garyan mistakes?
I think cutting away from this, Koss is doing their best to try to be optimistic about it, and they're saying to Gary Mistake, well, I know that a lot of your work is being canned. I know that probably doesn't feel good.
No, she can totally scrap my entire script. I'd rather not be part of that.
I mean, maybe it'll turn out alright. She's a professor for a reason. I don't think that Griff can do that many pirouettes.
I am so excited to see him try though.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I should just rejoin the Entrepreneurs Society.
Okay.
Either that
How about...
or we join forces to take it down.
At that point, Rosie runs in, like sweaty, and she's almost like stumbling in her feet. She's like, sorry I'm late. And then sees Professor Uvilda doing her interpretive dance. Several Professor Uvildas doing interpretive dance. She's like,
I didn't think actors were supposed to be at this one.
what the fuck is that?
This is the bathtub scene. So the ones wearing the suds on their heads are the bath. The one in the center is going to be Griff.
This is not how we rehearsed it.
It's not, I know.
We'll figure something out. Don't stress.
Professor! And
Oh.
she immediately runs up. What starts as a brief conversation turns into a heated debate on behalf of Rosie. The professor is very good at keeping her calm. Rosie is not. The hell do you mean? No, we rehearsed this. Koss has put a lot of effort into these songs, and mistake over there, genius script. I'll tell you. Well, it didn't start genius, but it ended up being kind of genius. And Gary put so much work into these contraptions. You can't just scrap it. The professor just turns around and does not respond. That bitch.
I maybe just let this one lie for today. But just for today. We were going to talk to the captain.
What would you suggest?
I'll tell you what I'd suggest. No one can convince anyone like the power of the people. You can guard your thoughts to only think a certain way and not just think, I'm an Auric.
I'm an Auric! I'm an Auric! Yeah!
Everybody who's an Auric, please think that you're an Auric.
How I would like to start today is Koss has their painting class this morning. It's it's a few days after the party itself. Huh?
Can Shmuel be the model?
Sure, why not?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Get my cards.
Koss is sitting in painting class. What does Shmuel look like? What are they painting?
So Shmuel walks in, and he has his robe on. And he goes, what kind of error are you painting today?
I think we were working on anatomy of non-human races.
Well, okay, just a moment. And he goes into like a bag of holding or whatever. It's his like modeling bag, and he pulls out a convenient fig leaf. Since there's no specific time, and Shmuel goes, all right, just a second, and beep, beep, beep. Whoop.
So, because he's a satyr, right?
Yeah.
Does satyrs wear pants?
I always assume it was like the Donald Duck scenario where they wear a top but not pants.
When you're a professional, you always have to be professional. Yeah, I could go and say I'm a satyr, so I don't wear any pants. But when in Rome, Strixhaven, you wear pants.
I like to envision he's talking to all the students huddled around him when the teacher walks in. This kind of like middle-aged
Who the
elf
fuck are
guy.
you?
All right, everyone, take a seat and. Oh, God, no.
Yeah, it's me.
I apologize, class. We're going to be drawing Mr. Shmuel.
Yeah,
Today.
it's Shmuel.
Normally, models are a bit quieter.
Shmuel.
Step up into the podium, please, and stop laughing, classroom. This is serious.
Am I doing good with the fig leaves? Or you need something else? I got backdrops. Stuffed animals. I can do all.
So Koss starts working on this painting, but they are still like working through all the different people that were at the party, and just like honestly, they are really hoping that the captain is wrong and he's not one of the first years that they would know. Because other than Quintilius, who they're pretty sure it's not, they don't want to have to deal with basically outing a friend.
So, Koss,
Yes.
can you roll me a performance check to see how well your Shmuel portrait looks?
Is that performance or painter's tools?
Oh, okay. There's painter's tools. I didn't
Yes.
know.
I mean, performance is better for me, but so 14.
Okay, yeah, it looks pretty good. You are very skilled at painting portraits, right? Shmuel looks great, but maybe the background needs a little bit of work.
Really good jaw.
And they'll add in like a little sending stone microphone as if this is a comedy club because Shmuel has not stopped cracking jokes.
Hey, what did the hat say to the brazier?
I don't know, what did the hat say to the brazier?
You go on ahead. I'll give these two a lift.
I like it.
Will you stop distracting my students?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Speaking of distracting the students, can we say Koss is right next to a window?
Sure.
There's a rock that's thrown at the window to get your attention.
Koss will look out the window then.
It's Rosie, and she's just like waving her arm, getting your attention. I think this is in the first floor. We could just say it's in the first floor to be nice to Rosie.
Koss will whisper a little minor illusion spell to create text on the outside of the window that says, in a class, what's up?
She doesn't have that spell, so she writes in a piece of paper, urgent, and she holds it against the window.
Okay. Well, I guess it's time to cheat then. And Koss will look into their bag for the special paint, realize that they are kind of out of it, running low, but they will use what bit they have left to conjure up a wonderful portrait of Shmuel pretty instantly, and then be like, I'm done, here you go, bye.
Wow, that wasn't even half the class.
That's really good. Can I have this?
Everybody starts huddling around Koss's painting like, oh my god, like taking notes and shit.
Wow.
Hey, I'm so sorry. I have a huge favor to ask you.
Oh yeah, sure, what's up?
Sit down.
Koss will look around and sit down on the grass.
She crosses her legs, she's sitting down on the grass in front of you. This may be a lot,
Okay.
but I think this needs to happen. And she hands you a flyer. And in it is information about a third protest that she is planning to throw later that week. And she says, you know better than anyone. We must do something about the situation with the play, otherwise it's just going to be a catastrophe. I mean, it's going to be two separate visions counteracting, and it's just going to be shit. We need Professor Zaffai back at the helm.
Yeah, I do kind of agree. So what is this? You want to throw a protest about this?
Word's already circulating. Rumors say there's going to be hundreds of people there to stick it to Dapplewing again. What say you?
To stick it to Dapplewing?
Well, Dapplewing's the one who put Professor Uvilda in charge, and Professor Zaffai should be in charge.
Okay,
Put so much work into it.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to get Professor Zaffai back into the play to remove the 5 consecutive pirouettes that Griff is going to have to do and will probably throw up after doing them. I spent how many hours just staying up way later than I should have?
Exactly. You mistake, Aurora, you put so much work into this. Gary? So that brings me to my next point. Look, I'm just a LARPer, Koss. I don't have what you have. I can talk for ages. That doesn't mean that I always have something to say, or that I say it well. What if I were to ask you to potentially speak?
To speak at
the protest?
At the protest. You want me to give a speech?
Koss, look, people remember what you did back at the Hall of Oracles. People started standing up. Nobody would have done that if it weren't for you. You did not rat out your friends. You stood up for what was right. You owned up to your mistakes, but you didn't betray anyone. That is what people gravitate towards, Koss.
No, I guess, but I could write you a speech. I could give you something to say. Just
wouldn't be genuine. It's not coming from me, is it? The people need to hear from you, Koss. You are a member of the F Squad. I'm not, as much as I want to be. I'm just B Squad.
There's nothing wrong with being part of the B Squad.
Oh, I know, but people will see me and they think, look at her, she's so tiny, she can't possibly be as fierce as she pretends to be, but you could be anyone. You could be anyone.
I'll think about it, Rosie. Does that sound good?
Well, we have about 4 days.
4 days. Okay, that's not a lot less time than I expected, but
in the
actually,
meantime,
that
we'll
makes
keep
sense.
spreading the word, maybe get more numbers, maybe if we get to 1,000, my god.
How many students are there in this school?
Well, hundreds and hundreds of first years. Koss and Mistake, what are you guys up to?
So yeah, this is one of Mistake's favorite places to go. The clock tower was in Lorehold campus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's one of the tallest buildings on campus. So she is very familiar with the long climb of a bunch of stairs and ladders to get up there.
And it overlooks Pillar Drop, so on top of being tall, you could see the drop down into the earth.
I probably should have asked if you afraid of heights.
No,
Oh, good.
just crowds and public speaking.
Yeah, kind of same. No, this is my little hideout.
It's a nice spot. It's a long way down. It's a good place to, I guess, come and stare into the abyss or something.
Yeah, kind of. Mostly I just like coming to high up places.
Reading here, I assume.
Yeah, sometimes we'll just looking down at everyone. It's the only time I'm actually taller than pretty much anyone.
Well, there is Rosie.
That's true.
You smell pipe smoke and you hear...
You said this was your spot?
Yeah, I've never... The only other person I've encountered here has been someone I've invited.
Can we follow the sense of smell pipe smoke?
And
Sure.
the sound of
crying.
sobbing.
Yeah.
Yep. You see Rampart sitting on a windowsill, like, one leg up on the windowsill, with his pipe, and he's reading a romance novel. It's like a military romance novel. A woman passing off as a man to be in this army and falling in love with the general. And he's just like sobbing, reading this. He's close to the end.
I've never been a particularly big fan of that author. Read all of her books, and they all just kind of follow the same pattern.
Hashtag all romance novels.
Are you okay?
Silvertrove.
Hello?
Mistake. He feels weird because he calls everybody by a last name. What are you doing here?
Oh, we were just coming up here to hang out.
Me too. This my hangout spot.
That's weird, because I'm here like every day, and you're not.
What brings you up here?
Nothing. He hides the book. Just relaxing.
I'd
And
recommend a few better ones than that one, honestly.
this is a masterpiece.
I'm not saying it's just there are better ones.
What's not to love? It's got military tactics. It's got love.
And a lot of sexism.
Also a lot of sex.
They were trying to find love during a time where it was not common for women to take up arms. It is romantic.
I'm not saying it isn't, but isn't it a lot more interesting when you're like, same power level?
But the general treats her like human.
Yes, because she's pretending to be a man.
Yeah. And just taking a swing in the dark here, is it at all related to the fact that one of them is lying about who they are?
No.
Oh.
Shut up.
Well,
Leave me alone. And he gets up and he has to walk past you to get to down.
no, Rampart, listen, I'm sorry about what happened with Gary and how it got out of hand.
I do not know that name. That person does not exist to me anymore.
It kind of seems like you still care about him a little bit.
I cared about someone who I thought was my friend.
I have had experience with people seeing me as somebody who I wasn't, as you might imagine. And then Koss will pop a couple faces on. I know that he's sorry, but you don't have to necessarily forgive him for it.
He just better not stand in my way again. That is all. The rest of you are decent people. Especially Shelley. Shell has a good heart.
Yeah,
And
lots of
and
people like Shelley.
very bad temper, but useful in combat. Anyway, you saw nothing. I was reading military tactics. Okay? Say it?
You were reading military tactics.
Thank you.
So how is it that somehow everyone has a crush on Gary?
That's another good question. I think it's the white hair.
The white hair that makes everyone think he's old.
People like older men, right?
I don't, but I'm also not super into men.
Well, good to know.
Why?
In case I have to matchmake.
So sad about the shame over reading romance novels. Should be more evolved than that.
I mean, neither Mistake nor Koss judged him.
Right? Only Rampart judged himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was entirely.
So the next day
Oh, that the next day?
is the protest.
Jeez.
You are hungover.
We're doing this together.
Oh boy.
We're both throwing up.
For different reasons. The B Squad is coming out, getting ready for the protest, and Rosie's just like, oh boy, are you two okay?
Yeah, I made a bad decision last night. Rosie,
Yeah?
I would like to do the speaking thing.
Are you sure? Because you don't look like you want to do it. You...
They completely change their face such that they no longer look like hungover.
Okay, are you fucking with me or are you for real?
No, they're not fucking with you.
I'm for real.
Here, have some water, Shelly.
Oh, thank you. Shelly chugs it.
Shelly, like, leaning over, throwing up in the bushes. Their shell kind of just looks like another bush.
Rose didn't even realize I was there.
Koss. As the crowd's doing their thing, they're chanting their near dappling manner. You see the rest of the F squad, except for maybe Griffey. You see the B squad there for sure, with someone who looks like the girl from the Zone of Truth. It's Mistake next to.
Koss is good at seeing through disguises.
Yeah. You have like a support circle near you at least when Rosie runs up. It's just like, I was thinking of going up now. I don't think we're gonna get more numbers than this. What do you think?
Go for it. I've got your back.
You sure?
Yes, I'll be right behind you.
All right. She casts Thaumaturgy. Welcome, fellow first years. Thank you all for coming out here tonight. We are here for a very important cause. We are here because we've been through a lot, us first years. We've been through a tavern brawl, we've been through a stampede of owlbears, and yet it feels that the faculty are doing not much to protect us. It feels like the faculty that's actually doing things to protect us and caring about us is being undermined and dealt a bad hand. And so, to make a long story short, I have confided in a friend to speak to you all to set matters straight. And well, they're a very good friend, and they are an important member of a certain squad that's really made a name for themselves this year. Everyone give it up for our very own Coast Silvertrove!
So Koss looks to Shelly. You got this.
Yeah, you got this.
And then looks at Gary and is like, if anybody doesn't like it, then...
Oh, Gary will poison the water. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll take that energy. So Koss gets up to the podium and looks out at everybody and starts off with, "Hello, everybody. A lot of you know me. I'm Koss Silvertrove. Some of you know me as a member of the F Squad. Some of you know me as the producer of the Lillith play. And some of you just know me as a classmate. And what Rosie has said is very true. Professor Zaffai represents something that Strixhaven absolutely needs. And that is a person who is willing to take risks. He embodies the red side of the Prismari school. He is a person who knows how to experiment, to try new things in the search of new forms of expression. It's why he saw fit to even give me a chance to even run this play as a first year. It's why he decided to bring on all of these other people that have been have put in so much work over all of this time in order to make this vision into fruition. And it's not just his vision anymore. It is our vision.
Yeah!
This is, like Rosie said, something that has never been seen before. This is a play that is almost entirely led up by the talent of the new incoming class of Strixhaven. Which means that this is a chance to make something entirely new. And if we allow this to go through as is, with Uvilda at the helm, well, she's wonderful. Her dances are unparalleled, but the show itself will not be the same. It will be more of the same. And I personally was really looking forward to sharing my art and everybody else's art with the rest of the student body. So I hope that you'll consider throwing your weight behind this, because Professor Zaffai knew how to give us space to be creative and to create the things that we loved. Thank you very much.
The NPCs gave Koss a warm reception. I want to say almost like some people there had instruments. Along with the applause came a bunch of like drumming. A lot of those faces you might even recognize from...
Starts a haka.
But I do like the idea of like them breaking into song and it's one of your songs. I don't know which one.
Hear the people sing.
That's not a Koss song. That's...
Maybe it's one of the songs from Lillith.
Yeah.
Do you hear the centaur sing?
You guys are all heading to Prismari. That's where Professor Zaffai lives, in one of the teacher housing buildings. And you have to go up this spiraling set of stairs all the way to the very top. And the very top has like an open balcony. You can hear and see the thunder. And there's no storm, there's no rain, it's just the thunder.
Thunder or lightning, both probably.
Like both. You're heading up, and actually all of you roll a Constitution check. See how tired you are.
Oh, good on that one.
15.
8.
How the fuck is Gary the one that's keeping up with the stairs?
You know, this is what it is, actually, is that he had a recipe to make blood marshmallows, but the recipe that I have for this says you need to put it in an electric mixer for like several hours. So he spent several hours hand mixing marshmallow stuff, so he's got a good amount of endurance.
Also carrying around the box with the
Yeah.
Elder's Bomb. Mistake's just tired, I don't know. Maybe it's like fresh after practice kind of thing.
Koss is hungover.
And as you reach the very top, you can straight up see Professor Zaffai's door. It is singed. You can hear him sobbing.
I guess, yeah, Koss, I think, knows Professor Zaffai the most, but all of the loud sounds of thunder are making them just a little bit headachy, so they'll just be like,
What?
Oh, sorry, Professor Zaffai, it's Koss Silvertrove with your assistant playwright and props director.
Shit. He opens the door. His makeup is so runny. He kind of is a little musty. He hasn't bathed in a while. His clothes have mustard stains and wine stains. Call Silvertrove. What do you want?
Oh, I just wanted to check in and see how you were doing.
How am I doing? Well, I followed your direction, Calls. I went to sleep for several days. You know what happened? I got more depressed, Calls.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Look! And he just like has a pile of parchments and it's music sheets and they're all like, and they have a few notes and then he just scratches it off with a quill and a bunch of papers are crumpled up in a corner, others are torn, others are singed. You can tell he's been struggling to create.
I'm sorry, Professor Zaffai. I mean, I understand it's very difficult being taken away from this project, but for what it's worth, I think everybody who is involved does want you to get back onto that horse.
Yeah, right. Everybody hates me, Calls. I know it.
Well, that's not true.
I see the way they look at me. I see the way they run off whenever I'm walking down the halls. Why? I'm very approachable.
I wouldn't have gotten involved.
Larry, right?
No. I wouldn't have gotten involved at all if you hadn't had your desire to not have any magic. So I think you did a really good job of attracting students to be part of the play that normally wouldn't have been.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have gotten Mistake involved if you hadn't decided, oh, we're going to take this well-known story and completely change all of the parts, so...
Well, I'm the only one in my family who's a spellcaster, and I just grew up, I don't know, involving everybody else, and just because some people can do magic doesn't mean that others shouldn't have the opportunity to create art, you know, so I try to bring that into the play. I'm killed that fucking Dapplewing don't let me...
Professor, when's the last time that you left this room?
What day is it?
It's 6th day.
Of Zelazani?
There are multiple 6th days in Zelazani.
It's just the day of the week.
Cause time is irrelevant. What is time?
Well, that's a good question. I just wanted to ask if you know what's going on at the Rose stage right now.
Professor Uvilda fucking it up again?
Well, no, not exactly. And then Koss is going to create a silent image of the protest as if it was taken from aerial footage as they remember it.
How come I can't hear shit?
Oh, sorry. Prestidigitation, and then suddenly there's like the dull roar of a crowd. That's the only sound that is actually there, but there's Rosie up at the top still giving a speech, and you can't hear them. So Koss is like, hold on a second, and then pops into Rosie's face, and then starts giving the, we've got to free Professor Zaffai!
It's terrific. That's happening now?
Yeah, that's happening now.
In the middle of a school day?
In the middle of a school day, because Rosie and a lot of other people, it turns out, thought that you were really the best fit for that play because you knew how to give us space to be creative and to push us to break our boundaries.
I don't know what to say.
Well, you don't have to say anything, you just have to not give up hope because everybody here is rooting for you, and we might have to do this experimental dance number, which I'm not opposed to doing. There are some interesting bits of choreography in it, but we are going to put on your play, your vision as well. Our vision as well.
Guys, wow. Mistake, Terry,
Gary.
and Koss. I appreciate the three of you coming and check in on me. I think I'm ready to eat something.
Oh, good. I don't have anything for you, but...
Oh, do you want blood marshmallows?
I never had, but you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'll have anything.
For what it's worth, one way or another, we're gonna put on that play that we've been working so hard for. We could always find a different venue. I mean, it doesn't have to be the stage, it could be something more casual, maybe the Bozen Tavern or something?
I could ask Tolk.
Shut up. Koss, you goddamn genius, Koss. You're right, ain't no rules against that. I can lose access to the Rose stage, but hell, I could just... The Archway Commons, the Bozen Tavern, the Fire Joe Cafe. It's all a matter of talking to the owner, convincing them. A little pull here and there. Mistake, you still got that script?
Sure.
Koss, you still got them songs?
Yes, of course I've still got them songs.
Gary, contraptions?
Yes.
I don't think the trapdoor will work.
You guys, this could work. This could work, holy shit. I'm just gonna say it, I love you guys. You guys are the fucking best. Best first years I ever met. God damn it! Oh!
I'm so happy for you.
Alright, and he picks up the music, she starts writing down music. It's just like, just don't worry, this is not for your songs, this is for the score.
Well,
you know, in the intro.
really fast. You're moving very quickly.
You can barely see his hand as it's just flashing.
Okay, we are going to get going. We have other things to do. Classes to get to.
Crescendo, decrescendo, piano, fortissimo, you know what that means?
Yes, it means soft to extremely, extremely loud.
You fucking...